of myself, and you give power and influence to the wrong people. Look how it turns out. You have to hype yourself up and nobody else on the external side to keep up. You have Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Ascension with V. I'm your host, Stashia Jeanette, aka V, and today I just wanted to do a quick episode to talk about the essence of resting and the importance of it kind of right now as we are closing out December, going into the new year. There is a lot that is taking place energetically, spiritually, across the board with everyone right now. And the time between, like I said, the end of this month going into next month and probably until the beginning of February time is like some really dense, heavy energy purging and releasing that's taking place, a lot of healing, a lot of shifting, a lot of transformation that is happening at a energetic, molecular, spiritual, and physical, mental, and emotional level across the board. And it's really, really important to, even though I know I want to put the disclaimer out here, I do know this is holiday time and a lot of people are interacting with family, traveling, going places, doing a lot of heavy socialization time during this time period. But it's really crucial, especially as we're getting towards the end of this month, to have time to rest, to have time to go into solitude, to spend time in your hermit mode with within yourself, to be able to process the things that you have dealt with over this year. Kind of take a inventory, kind of take stock of all the events that you've gone through, all of the relationships, platonically or romantically, that you've had, all the people that you've come in contact up until this point in time, things that shaped you, that affected you in either a good, a bad way. Regardless whatever the case may be, it's important for you to carve out time throughout the end of December to process, to introspect, to reflect on the things that you have experienced this year and figure out how you feel about them. Figure out what these events or these relationships or these lessons were, and in what way, shape, or form they affected you and contributed to you in your life, and in what way. So you're only able to do so if you kind of recluse into yourself. It doesn't have to be, multiple days. You just, as much time as you can as you end this month, give yourself the time to rest and reflect, because it will better aid you in the heavy hitting processes that are taking place right now. Again, both in the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, molecular level. Right now, it's a lot. It's a lot that's taking place. And if you're tired, if you're exhausted, if you need to rest, then rest. The basis of this entire very short episode is just about needing to allow yourself this time to rest, to allow yourself the ability to go in within yourself and introspect and not feel guilty about it. Right? There's this thing that Earth has created around people taking time just be, to just be centered, to just be in their own essence, to be in their own energy, to be right here in the present moment, without having the noise of other people around, without, constantly being attached to the social media, without constantly just having people around you, or putting yourself in highly socialized environments. It doesn't allow for you to hear your own thoughts, to hear the voice of God source universe, or to be connected with your truth, your inner essence, and that creates a snowballing effect that kind of just builds up over time, and then eventually you have like some cataclysmic event and you're having kind of a mental outbreak or outburst because you've not given yourself the time to reflect, to process, to understand the things that you are going through. I can't stress it enough. There's a lot that's taking place right now, and your biggest priority needs to be yourself and allowing yourself time to rest and not feel guilty about resting, not feel guilty about telling people, "Hey, I'm just going to stay in. I'm just going to keep to myself. I'm just going to hang out at the house," or telling people, "Hey, I'm actually not up to par on being able to communicate with you right now. I don't have the energetic or mental bandwidth to sustain a conversation right now." If you have to cancel appointments with people, places, things, appointments, whatever the case may be, because you're not feeling it, the energy isn't there, you don't have the energetic or mental bandwidth to be present, then do so. There is nothing that is more important than yourself and your well-being and your healing and your mental well-being. Your well-being overall is important, but really honestly, if you're feeling this, and a lot of people are, this mental exhaustion, you need to allow yourself time to rest. It was heavily weighing on me because it feels like there's a lot of people who are struggling with doing this, because this world has taught you that you cannot rest. Rest is the enemy. You need to constantly be doing, 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 pushing, 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 more, 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 and that's not it. People are burning out fast. People are fizzling out fast. People are dropping like flies fast, really young, because they're not allowing themselves time to rest, to decompress, to reflect, to go within, to heal, to de stress, and it takes a toll, not just on the physical body, but on your spiritual, mental, and emotional body as well. When you do not allow yourself the time to yourself to detach from social media, from your work, from people, from whatever, to just be in your own energy and to have solace, right? People think that having peace is so boring, and if you're not out socializing and interacting and conversing with people 24/7, like you're boring or you're antisocial. Like it's not that. You need to be able to, first off, going into the new year, before you start trying to manifest a relationship with someone else, you need to make a relationship with yourself first. And establish a good connection and relationship with yourself. Hear yourself first, instead of always externally wanting to hear the opinion and the voice of others, the external noise. You need to be able to have a good connection and relationship with yourself, with your inner voice, with the divine, with God source universe within you, and you can't do that with the external noise and factors and people and pressures around you. You have got to allow yourself time to sit in solitude, to reflect, and to hear your own voice. Work on next year building a really, really good relationship and building up trust with yourself, because that's where it starts on the external. When you develop and create a more harmonious and trust-filled connection to yourself, you will notice how your connections externally start to reflect equally. When you can trust and believe in yourself, when you're going to yourself first for, well, what do I think about it? Well, how do I feel about it? Well, how does that make me feel? Well, what do I think about that situation, instead of immediately going external to ask about well, what do you think about this? Or what do they think about this? Or what do they think? Or what will they, when you put that in within yourself and you take your own advice first, when you feel confident in your choices and your decision and the answers that come within yourself, your trust goes through the roof. Your self-confidence begins to go through the roof. Everything starts to heal and change and grow. And then externally, you'll see that as a ripple effect in other people. Your trust in other people will come because you're attracting even equally yoked trustworthy people as well. The same kind of relationship that you've built within yourself, you'll see it within other people who are coming into your life next year. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope that this was helpful. I wanted to make this and say happy, happy, happy holidays to everybody. I really am thankful for you guys supporting me, for showing up and wanting to be on the podcast. We've got some really great people who are going to be on the podcast next year. And thank you all for just, again, hitting the like button, for leaving a comment, for following me on the TikTok, for all the things. I'm really grateful for those of you who do comment and say, hey, your readings have been helpful. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the people who have been donating to me, on Venmo or wherever the case may be. Thank you for showing your gratitude and appreciation for me that way. Thank you for, again, just showing up and appreciating me. And I want you guys to have the best holidays and New Year ever. Make it about you. And I'll see you. B Squad. Also, if you don't see me posting another podcast until next year, don't be alarmed because I too am following my own advice and I'll be kind of taking some hermit mode time and I've got a lot going on. So if this is the last video you see before outside of the readings, podcast wise, before the New Year's, you know why. B Squad.